personality program, The Stewardship. My name is David Ojo. Now, this program is proudly organized by the Office of the Civic Engagement led by Honorable Olatubosun Onyitiloye, the Special Advisor on Civic Engagement. Today on Stewardship, my guest is the Secretary of the Lady Olua Campaign Organization and also the Director General, Spros and Social Services. His name is Mr. Richard Tinubu. Mr. Richard Tinubu, you're welcome to the stewardship today.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's start with your agency. What about your agency?
Well, this agency, Bureau of Social Services, is a value addition to governance. The vision of this agency is to attract integrity, probity, transparency, quality addition to governance at all levels in the state of Osun. And that's the vision of this agency. And our mission is to monitor, to supervise, to also evaluate government business in terms of project policies and programs. This agency was established in 2011, and since then it has been on to reduce cost of governance and to also make sure that the quality of the projects and policies of government, those policies are engendered in terms of service delivery and good governance at all levels. I will give kudos to the governor of the state of Osun, that's Alhaji Isiaq Adegboyega, who on assumption of office expressly unveiled the vision, the mission, and the core values of his government. And the vision was simple. It's just to make sure that he institutionalized an Osun that will work for everybody in terms of physical and social infrastructures, and had an addition to industry. And also his vision is to take Osun to the next level of development with an inclusive government, with initiative, and also make his government a participatory governance. And that is what we have experienced in the last 3 years plus in the state of Osun. And also establish a clear-cut values for the people in terms of accountability, integrity, and industry. And all these are enshrined in the Omoluabi ethos of this state. And I can assure you, and I can tell you clearly, because I've been in charge of monitoring, supervision, and evaluation of government policies and programs in the last 2 years, and he had done creditably well. Alhaji Isiaq Oyitola had taken Osun to another level. He has, in terms of leadership qualities, he has the prowess, he has managerial skills, he has team spirit skills, especially because of his experience in private sector for almost 30 years, and also in public sector as the chief of staff to the immediate past governor. This is established, and I can tell you that he had adhered strictly to the ethics of good governance in terms of responsibility, responsiveness, accountability, inclusiveness, reduction in the level of corruption, and also he had taken all downtrodden and the less privileged into confidence in his governance. Let me also say this clearly. When I took over, he re-established, he rekindled hope in the people by amending and changing the face of this agency. Previously, this agency was awarding contracts. When I took over, we started with just monitoring the projects, supervision the projects, evaluating the projects, and also value addition to governance in terms of making sure that people don't change the government in terms of the people, and all businessmen that are working with the government. And today, the agency is doing well, and the governor is happy. The governor has done creditably well. It's creative. It's a phenomenon in the history of this state when you look at the transformation. I must also make this reference. Lee Kuan Yew built Singapore for 30 years. In Ghana, it was about 26 years. And Zinewi in Ethiopia rekindled hope with the Ethiopians for 12 years. But I can tell you, Alhaji Isiaq Oyetola had done this in 3 years. I must give kudos to the man. He has done well for the people. And you also know that the primary responsibility of any responsible government is the welfare of the people and the security of lives of the people. This had been done creditably with a thorough sense of responsibility and accountability. He's doing well. And the people, they really want him back for the second term because he has done the infrastructures he had put in place. The infrastructure have been unprecedented in the history of this state. You know, as the person monitoring all the projects, policies, I can tell you this with a sense of responsibility. I must also tell you, apart from the monitoring of these projects, our responsibility is also to monitor the activities of all the MDAs, that's Ministry Department Agencies of Government, put them on their toes, and also make sure that the commissioners, special advisors, and all political office holders are doing what they are expected to do in accordance to the mandate given them by the governor of the state of Osun, Alhaji Isiaq Oyetola. We also monitor all the welfare programs, welfare scheme, and we also make sure that people don't we add value to governance, and people don't just come to show a level of indiscipline in terms of resources. You know, the man is a finance person, and you must key into his vision if you really want to work with him. Like I said, the man is a nationalist, is patriotic, and is very disciplined in terms of mobilizing human and material resources to achieve credibly well in terms of service delivery.
Well, let's talk about, you said this agency monitor, evaluates programs, policies of the state government. Let's start with roads. Let's look at the roads being rehabilitated, constructed in the state of Osun. What's your assessment so far?
Well, let me first say this. In terms of when he came in on assumption of office, the first thing he did was to unveil four pillars of government in terms of economic development and growth, in terms of infrastructural development and growth, in terms of human capital development, and also environmental sustainability and security. And on assumption of office, he also went round on a thank you tour to the whole state to request for the wants and the needs of the people. Incidentally, I was also the secretary of that thank you tour, and went around the whole state asking people what they would want for the people, because from the onset he told us that he would want to effect a people-oriented government and governance. You know, civil servants must also give kudos to them. Politicians are the face of government. The civil servants are the face of governance, and they have also done well in terms of. And he told the civil servants straight away that he had come to give them a positive reform, and there are reforms. These things are there for people to see. They have done well with the civil servants, and after all this, for the first time in the history of this state, we had an experience of an indigenized cabinet. He didn't he didn't go to
not Lagos,
Akwa Ibom,
not
to
Ogun
bring
State.
commissioners, not Ogun State to bring commissioners, not Kogi State to bring commissioners. He decided to institutionalize and indigenize the cabinet that he would work to. There was a retreat in Ada, and in terms of capacity building, our thoughts, how government and governance must work. And after this, he decided to go to the stock exchange to preach prosperity for the state of Osun. On coming back, he organized an economic summit, business and economic summit here in Osun, where we attracted all business tycoons all over the world to come and look, especially critically into 3 areas. That's the agriculture, mining, and tourism, to support our industry. And that we did. And this is the practical experience of the business summit that we did. And all the roles that people requested for on the thank you tour, he did an itinerary. If you go to all the parts of the state today, everybody is feeling it. And for the first time, we have an iconic flyover in the state of Osun. It is only an iconic leader like Boy Garitola that can put together that kind of overhead bridge, a flyover bridge at Olaya. And the intention is also historical, because if you look at that area in Olaya, people are experiencing accidents and all the rest because it's a complex place for people to pass. He looked at it with the lieutenants, that's the cabinet members, as consultants, to see what we can do to reduce the death rate on that road. And that is why I decided to put that Olaya iconic bridge there. And if you look at Adaibajo Road, that have been abandoned for 30 years, Alhaji Isiaq Adegboyega Oyetola, if you pass through Adaibajo Road, people continue to appreciate him, and people continue to pray for him and the family. You look at the one from Mushobo to Irabiji, it's also unprecedented in the history of this state. Look at all the abandoned roads. Ejigbo had never had it so good. From Ede to Ejigbo today, people are happy. And if you see the road network in Ejigbo, the road network is on, and people are also happy. As I'm talking to you, just a few weeks ago, the governor signed the network of roads in Ife, network of roads in Ikire.
Fantastic.
And so all these roads are, you will look at the man and say, where is he getting the funds?
I wanted to ask you that. Where is he getting all these funds?
He has one character, he has one attitude, he has one capacity. Like I said the other time, he's very resourceful, a very practical person, a phenomenon in the transformation of this state of Osun. He had vision and mission for this state. You see, if you want to govern, you must just govern well. If you like your people, he likes the people. It's not the days of, you have just 3 styles of governance. It's either you are an autocratic person, it's either you are a Democrat, or it's either you believe in democracy. When you talk about democracy, you talk about people, the government of thieves, like we experience sometimes in Nigeria. And if you look at autocracy, just government of few people, but democracy is people-based. It's the people. And he will always tell you, I am just the team leader. I'm the team leader. I'm just leading you. We must work together. This is our government. We must add value to this government, and everybody must be involved. And when you look at the ethics of good governance, in the real sense, good governance is all about taking decisions and making sure that those decisions that are taken are creditably, people really enjoy the service delivery. You are talking about being responsible, you are talking about being responsive, transparency in governance, inclusiveness, consensus orientation, effectiveness, efficiency, allow everybody to be involved, and also making sure that you reduce the level of corruption. Corruption is systemic, it is endemic, it is pandemic. It is all over the world. Even in America, you have corruption. But the issue is that you must, if you want a government that will work, you must reduce the level of corruption. And that is one of the reasons why he has established this agency, Bureau of Social Services, to make sure that you keep all political office holders on their toes. You add quality to governance in terms of discipline of projects, policies, and programs. If a contractor will go out to supervise, like there is everywhere in the state now, patching of roads, grading of roads, there's so many projects. and we go out every day to monitor these projects. You cannot change the government. You can only add value to governance. We have something we call top-down, top-up. If you get to a particular place and you find out that what you have done, those things are not in consonance with the expectation of government and the people of the state, you put a thumb down, meaning that you must go back to the ministry that awarded it.
Have you ever seen that before?
We have done so many of those ones. And it's also a way to reduce cost of governance. Because you cannot collect 1 billion naira and the bill is about, you are supposed to do 1 billion and you are giving us the productivity of just about 100 million. So the contractors will be called to order, they will call the contractor back and ask questions and make sure that he does what he's supposed to do. And we have done several of those ones. This agency, Bureau of Civil Services, Alhaji Boyega, established it to reduce cost of governance, but to make sure that quality jobs are done with the utmost level of discipline.
Yeah, talking about all these political appointees, talking about the commissioners, talking about the ministries,
Yeah.
how have you been able to manage them?
Well, there are templates. When I came in, we developed so many templates to monitor, to supervise, and to also evaluate. When Alhaji Boyega assumed office in 2018, he developed a 10-year plan. That's an agenda for the state from 2019 to 2028. In this agenda, it's sectoral.
Okay.
In it, there are templates to monitor projects, policies, and programs of government. And we call that instrument MTSS, medium-term sector strategy.
Okay.
When you are talking about medium-term sector strategy, that's the instrument we use. We look at the input, look at the activities, look at the output, we look at the outcome and the impact on the citizenry of the state of Osun. What you are doing, we have to see what you are doing. And before you even start a project, you must tell us that you are starting this project. The documents that you are taking to the governor for approval and the budgetary allocation for those jobs, we must see it. We must see your bill in terms of bill of quantity and payment for roads and all of that. Then we look at the timeliness. So that is the way we monitor those projects.
Okay.
We look at what we are doing. We look at the budgetary allocation, whether it's been approved by the governor. We look at your bill, whether you are adhering strictly to the bill of quantity or the payment. And we look at when you are supposed to deliver those jobs. So there are most of these things that we have done that it's either we stop those projects or we ask those ministries that are doing that project to come to us and explain why it's taking a longer time for the delivery of those projects. That's one of the areas. The second area that we have, that the governor, Alhaji Boyega, are giving us mandate to do is to make sure that we look at the level of corruption in our ministries, department, agencies of government. Some, they are left service because of theft. There is no way, there are processes, I cannot stop it. There are some that are signing checks that they are not supposed to sign in their ministries, that we caught them and we do what we are supposed to do. So this agency had really put a lot of people on their toes because they know that the days of ineptitudeness, highest level of that, had gone in the state of Osun. And you must just do it right. If you don't do it right, because the governor is, you can't say he's a perfect person, but he meant well for the state. And he does not, where is the money? Paucity of funds. Like you asked this question the other time, where did he get the money? When he came in, he looked at, as a very resourceful, a very creative, a practicalist, a consummate person. What he did was just, where will I get the money to run this government? But because of his level of integrity and resourcefulness, he looked at the alternative funding for most of these projects. And what he's doing is the alternative funding for these projects. That's why you can see Osun doing network of roads more than any state in Nigeria, building infrastructures more than any state in Nigeria. Today, Osun is about 5 million people, and we have Osun is developing and growing at 3.1%, with the lowest the lowest unemployment level of about 10.1%, and poverty index of about 8.5%. It's unprecedented in the history of this state. Alhaji Oyetola had transformed this state. Like I said the other, Lee Kuan Yew did this for 30 years.
Oh, yes.
Rawlings did this for 26 years in Ghana. Sinai did this for 12 years in Ethiopia. Within 3 years, we have seen this. The man has done well. If he asks for 10 years more, I'm sure the people are ready to give him more years.
Definitely, if he asks for 10 years, the governor of the state of Osun will do more. And a lot of people will definitely enjoy the dividends of democracy in the state of Osun. All right, let's talk about, you did some evaluation with some ministries a year or two ago. What has been the success story so far?
Well, the success story is a continuous process, because what we do, even attendance, we monitor. Some of the commissioners, political office holders, when the governor is not around and they feel that the governor is not around, they won't come to office and all the rest. Boss is there to monitor. Sometimes I go to some offices, I just ask for a cup of tea, not knowing that I've come to monitor whether they are in the office or they are not in the office. So we go around and make sure that people come to work. Because if you come to work, that's when you can get a lot of productivity. So we monitor them. Then they have mandates given to them on assumption of office. The governor had given mandate to everybody. Alhaji Oyetola, he's a process person. When you are talking about process management, the man that worked more than 30 years in the private sector, if you had worked in the private sector, you know what process management is.
Oh, yes.
You understand? So, management by objective. You understand? So, these processes, and he knows his onion. You cannot. He was underrated when he came in. This gentleman, can he do this? When he's too gentle, he's too calm. Even on political area, he has shown those people that felt that they are political gurus, that they are nobody. Because of level, he is a consummate person, and he has political will and economic will to entrench service delivery and to design infrastructures that are unprecedented for this state. When you get to him, he will always tell you, let us just do it well and make sure that our people are happy. When you look at the thank you tour, you look at the recent one we are doing now, going around to visit, to look at our party members, to look at how they are doing and all the rest. All over the state, if you see the crowd coming to meet the governor, you'll be amazed. But this one is incredible.
Any challenge in your agency?
Well, some of the challenges we have in the agency is that you cannot make friends. I don't have many friends now. Even the ones that are my friends, when they see me now, they run away from me. Sometimes I go to events, when they introduce me, Director General Bureau of Social Services, nobody will greet me. But I don't care, because you see, on assumption of this office, the first thing Alhaji Oyetola told me is that this is a position of responsibility and you must have integrity. If you don't have integrity, they will introduce you to corruption. So anytime I'm doing my job, the first thing I'll remember is the governor, Alhaji Oyetola, told me that I'm giving you this responsibility with utmost level, to show utmost level of integrity. So the challenges are just not much, but like I said, you can't make many friends. You will lose some friends. Some friends will still appreciate you. Apart from that, the governor had given us utmost support, maximum, optimum support to carry out our responsibilities. And we thank him for this.
Any projection for the agency in the next 5 years?
Well, for the next 5 years, we know that by God's grace, by 16th July, Alhaji Oyetola is coming back. So we are also sure that this agency will continue to grow. And even if I'm not here again, the person that will take over this place will be a good template. There will be references, people will see what we have done, and if somebody is taking over, they will continue from that. But there is already a platform for this agency to continue. And I'm sure that the agency will go from strength to strength. The personnel here, they are doing well. They understand the nitty-gritties and the responsibilities of this agency. And you know, like I said the other time, that the civil servants are the face of governance. They will continue to be here. We will not continue to be here. But I'm sure that the confidence I have is that if I leave here today, they will continue from where I stop, and they will move to the next level.
The Director General, Bureau of Social Services, Richard Tinubu, it's nice having you once again on our program, The Stewardship.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure having a chat with you.
Thank you.
And that's how far we can go today on Stewardship. The program was proudly organized by the Office of the Civic Engagement, led by Honorable Osun Oyintiloye. My name is David Ojo. See you next week, and bye for now.